Is it time to be bullish? Is it time to be bearish? Today we're going to talk a little bit about the market, a little bit about my portfolio and where I think things are going to go. So without further ado, let's jump into the portfolio. We're currently at 36,472. We're still chopping. We've been chopping for like 3 months now, and some weeks we're up, some weeks we're down, but ultimately I guess generally the altcoin market has been bleeding, and yeah, we do get pockets of outperformance here and there, one week to another, but generally, as you can see, the 7-day trend across all of my alts at the moment is red. Things like Bitcoin and you could argue things like ETH are generally holding up. Even things like Sol are holding up. But if you look at like the altcoins, they're just getting ripped apart left, right, and center. And it doesn't look like it's ending anytime soon. I think one of the reasons why I think at the moment we're seeing a lot of people being either really bullish or either really bearish is, when you're consolidating or kind of chopping around for around 3 months, usually you get to some inflection point where things either go super bearish or things go super bullish. Now, I'm in the camp that things are generally going to get better from here. I don't think that, things are going to get really significantly worse unless there was some sort of global crisis. And so that's why I think at this point in time, to keep it short and simple, I'm going to continue to accumulate high quality altcoins, and hopefully some of the ones that I have got in the portfolio right now are high quality. Some will argue that they're not. I think we could always have a debate on that, but that's what I generally try to focus my research on. So what's changed in the portfolio? I've actually got rid of some stuff. I think there was some DeFi coins like FXS, which I have been holding for a long time, and I think it was about time to say goodbye to it. Why did I say goodbye? I wasn't particularly happy with the direction that Frax were going in. I think it's clear that DeFi is really underperforming, and the opportunity cost was so big. And perhaps I've capitulated at the bottom, but ultimately it doesn't matter because I'm using that. Well, I'm using the funds from selling, which we still made some profit. Yes, at one point it was 2x or 3x. But whatever, I think round tripping is part of the game at times, and I think this is like one of the reasons why I have a public series, to really show how you can trade this market, and how sometimes even despite good fundamentals, things do change over time. And at one point in time, FXS had really good fundamentals. And things do change, and you do have to reevaluate your coins. And sometimes, a coin that I have in my portfolio today, in a few months' time, might not be a good coin. And so, I think I probably didn't play that very well. And, I put my hands up and say, I messed up there. But I think that's one of the good things about kind of recording this. And, perhaps in 5 years' time or 10 years' time, I can rewatch this or even learn from some of the mistakes that I've made today to make myself a better investor in the future. So, here we are at the moment. As you can see, nothing much has changed. Other than kind of the fact that we did actually get rid of FXS, and we haven't really added anything other than a little bit of Tau. We do have some stables left over, and I do need to add to the stables because I haven't actually accounted for selling some a little bit. But generally $36,472. We got a 3x to go from here, and so the question is where do you allocate if you really want to go for something like that in this kind of market? It's a very, very tricky decision, but I think at the moment we do have a good balance between layer ones, the new gen layer ones. We've got some infrastructure stuff. We've got some AI. We're pretty heavy in AI, and then generally we've got some a few coins at the bottom which make up a small percentage of the overall portfolio. So I think a few things to say. Look, I saw some interesting tweets. This is from Antita, who basically says most people are going to look back and wonder why they didn't buy alts today when the ETH ETF goes live. And this is something that I personally believe too. I do think that when we do see the ETF trading live, and for those of you wondering when that is going to be, July the 4th is actually the approximate time frame. And so ultimately that gives us around 23 days. So by the time you're watching this video, it could be even shorter than that. So not really that long. We're talking about 3 weeks. And so if you're able to kind of dollar cost average or buy into positions in the next 3 weeks, I personally think that once the ETH ETF does go live, that you know, we're going to see altcoins kind of move. And also you can see Hasaka, right? Hasaka being like literally one of the most famous traders in the crypto space, and you know, he's tweeted this a number of times about being in the banana zone. I think we can actually see this on his media. Look, he's tweeted there about being in the banana zone. He's tweeted here about being in the banana zone. He's tweeted here about being in the banana zone and over here. And the banana zone is this area where eventually we're going to trend up just like the shape of a banana, hopefully. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, if we look at some of the coins that I have right now, let's say, and one of the good things about Say is, you know, I have actually got a Say airdrop following their version 2 announcement. I haven't added this into the portfolio, but it should be a nice boost. And I think our average price will go down below around 45 cents, which is actually very, very good. I mean, if we look at like the chart, the Say chart's been horrible. We've been basically trending in this zone, and so, you know, will we potentially get another retest? Let's do that again. So yeah, I mean, potentially we can go down to like the low 40s, but I think this is pretty much where I've got marked out on the bottom, and I would like to see, like, once the next few versions of Say V2 do come out, and we do see like many more apps go live, which we are seeing right now, I do think like we will get a push back up above this mark, and, you know, eventually we can break up you know, past this and eventually get back to where we were before. When will this happen? I'm not too sure, but I do think, like, it, you know, Say there's no unlocks for a few months until, you know, potentially August, September time. That's when the unlocks really start to play, and so I do think, you know, here is, I'm happy to potentially even accumulate a little bit more around here, get my average price down a little bit more. Yeah, I wouldn't be complaining whatsoever. So if we can do that, great. But if not, look, this is kind of the zone that I'm watching. I think if we look at a lot of alts, they're kind of in this similar position here, kind of just ranging and chopping in this area right now. Some alts, you know, even worse, like something like Matic, for example, we're like not far from bear market lows, you know, and again, like, just chopping in this zone, really not being able to get you know, above past this range. And so yeah, this doesn't look good. But I think, like, the updates and upgrades that many of these coins do have coming do show that there are good fundamentals, but the charts don't look very good. And here's another one. Here is BitTensor. Again, like, chopping in this zone right now. We go up, down, up, down, up, down. You know, when are we going to find a bottom? That is a question that I have. But I think for me, like, you know, I look at the tech and I look at the upgrades and I look at the tokenomics, and if they look good to me, then you know, if I get a chance to buy assets at a good price, I will do so. And so I will just be continually dollar cost averaging. I mean, you look at my portfolio, it doesn't look good, right? Minus 20%, minus 20%, minus 30%, you know, even minus 60% at times. Of course, these are high risk altcoins, but it doesn't look good, right? I mean, you spend all this time doing research and you're down, you know. This is part of the game with altcoins, right? This is part of the game. And I think when we do eventually see better times, which I think hopefully we should, I mean, 3 months of chop is not easy. I think things should be good. I mean, if we look at something like Bitcoin, it's pretty good, actually. Holding off pretty nicely, but we've really struggled with Bitcoin, you know. I mean, we broke all-time high here, struggled here, struggling here again. Will we finally get a push out to all-time high? Will it come when the ETH ETF comes end of June, July 4th, it seems? We'll have to wait and see. But either way, I think I completely agree with the comment that Antita said. Like, I think when the ETH ETF comes, people will be slapping themselves in the face saying, why were you not buying altcoins here? And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So yeah, I don't know if that's going to be the right thing or not. No financial advice. This is just my personal opinion, and I could be completely wrong, as I have been many times. And I'm sure you guys have seen that for those who have been following this series along. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if there's any alts that you are accumulating or any that should be on my radar. Yeah, I'd love to know, and I'm very interested to know. So yeah, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back with plenty more content in the near future.